Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hope and I do hope you are doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be speaking about four of the Clairs, four of the psychic abilities in which we are all born with, called the four Clairs. And the late 17th century word for Clair means clear. So basically anything that follows that is clear. So let's get into it. The first one we have is probably the most common one that everyone's heard of, and that's Clairsentience. Now, Clairsentience is the ability to perceive emotional or psychic energy that is imperceptible to the five standard senses. So the Clairsentience is an empath times 100. Now, empaths are really able to pick up on energies, people's energies around them, objects, animals. They can have a really strong feeling about what other people are also going through. Now, with the clairsentients are able to do this, and they're also able to do it with people, places, and objects that are further afield in the wider world. So the clairsentients have this unique gift of feeling. Clair, remember the late century French word? Clair means clear, and the sentience, in this case, it means feeling. So they have this clear feeling of what's going on around them and in the wider world. They can actually pick up on people's moods. People might put on a different face to the world, but a clairsentience can actually feel what people are really going through. They actually feel people's pain, people's anxiety, people's stress. And for a lot of clairsentience, if you're not protected, or if you're not kind of shielded then from your energies from these other people around you, then you're more likely to kind of take these emotions on as your own, whereas they're not really your own. However, if you're a clairsentient or even an empath that has really strong boundaries in force, where you can still help people, you can still love them, you can still empathize with them, however, you don't take on their emotions as your own. So a clairsentient can feel people's energies, it can feel people's vibes. A clairsentient can walk into a room 5 minutes prior, there was an argument, there was some type of disagreement, and which the clairsentient wasn't in the room at the time, walks in 5 minutes later and can just sense what's been going on. It can pick up the energy, can pick up the mood of this room. It's like this leftover energy that they can actually feel. So yeah, in short, that is what a clairsentience is. It's the ability to, the perception to perceive what is not normally there. So that's number one. Number two, we have the clairvoyance. Again, clair, this is clear, and the voyance means seeing, clear seeing. Clairvoyances are the seers of the world. They're the tarot readers, the fortune tellers, or the lady down the road. I mean, you don't have to have a specific job or profession to be a clairvoyant. You can just see things that perhaps normal senses can't pick up, because what's happening is you're now tapping into this web, this soup of creation in the quantum field where everything is happening now. So a clairvoyance is like the supernatural ability to see objects or images removed in space or time from natural viewing. Clairvoyants, they have this ability to tap into what we would call the past, present, or future. Whereas, remember, in the spirit world, there is no such thing as time. Everything that could ever happen, that is happening now, or that will ever happen, is happening in this moment now. So what the clairvoyance does is they're able to pick up from any energy source that's happening in the now. But humans, we tend to perceive that as them either seeing into the future or seeing into the past, whereas because it's all happening now, clairvoyants, they have this ability to see beyond the five senses and are able to see either faces, they're able to give you messages from loved ones that have passed over, they can see people from miles, like from far away, they can see objects, whether they're still or moving, they can see faces, they tend to have this visualization of seeing beyond the five senses, and they can actually communicate with people that have passed over. They can see beyond the veil. They can also see what we call as the future, but it's something that's happening now, and they're able to tap into that and bring a message back to you here in the present moment. So this clairvoyance is this viewing of people, places, shapes that are not always in our present reality. Number three, we have the clairaudience. Now, have you ever been home alone or in a room by yourself and you hear your name being called, but you're alone, right? You, my dear, may have a clairaudience ability. Now, clairaudience, again, is a clear hearing. This is the ability to hear sounds said to exist beyond the reach of ordinary experiences. So this may include hearing voices hearing chimes, hearing bells, hearing buzzing, just hearing music even. A lot of clairaudience, they hear music, they hear this like symphony or like an ice cream van playing in the distance. They also hear messages from the beyond or from their guides, and it can actually guide them in their life. It can tell them whether to book that holiday or not to book that holiday. It can tell them to wait off on that, on signing the deal, or it can tell them to go ahead. But they tend to speak in, when I say they, I mean like the spirit realm. The clairaudience tend to pick these things up from the quantum consciousness, and they tend to speak in like metaphors, like tomorrow is another day. So you could translate that into maybe hold off what you were doing today and perhaps do it tomorrow. But these clairaudience, they can pick up these sounds and noises and buzzing sounds. Someone said to me the other day that late at night, when it's late at night and everything is quiet, they can hear like a chime, a bell ringing. And I said, oh, it sounds like, no pun intended, it sounds like you have this clairaudience ability where you can hear things that are not perceptible to the world that we're currently in. You can hear sounds from other dimensions, for example. You can hear messages from your guides. You can hear your even like guardian angels saying to you, you know, giving you guidance in these messages. But this clairaudience, it's like these noises. They're very, very faint. They're not like loud or bang. It sounds like they are literally coming from another dimension. So that is clairaudience, the ability to hear sounds and noises and other things that are not perceptible to the five senses. And last but not least on the list, we have claircognizance. Now, again, clear, and the cognizance means to know. So claircognizance is the ability for a person to acquire psychic knowledge without knowing how or why they knew it. So the claircognizance, you know, when you just know you know something, you don't know how you know it, but you just know that you know that you know that you know. You, my dear, are a claircognizant, where you have this inner intuition that just knows something for a fact. You don't know how you know it. Sometimes it's good not to question it, but you just know that you know that you know. You can also tell when someone might not be being honest with you. You can sense people's inner knowings, inner nudgings. You can pick up on the small intricate and what's that word? Forget that. You can pick up on the intricacies. Yay, intricacy. You can pick up on the small intricacies that perhaps like the average person can't pick up. You can pick up on the nuances and the subtle changes of people's movements and attenuations. And this clear knowing is, again, a really good guidance for you. It will tell you things, it will guide you, it will maybe warn you sometimes. Perhaps this is not a good idea, perhaps you shouldn't do this. So this claircognizance is just knowing, the ability to know something without knowing where it came from or how you know it. So those, my dears, are the four clairs, the psychic abilities with which we are born with. Now, I say we are born with, a lot of us, most of us, majority of us, if not all of us, are born with these gifts. Over time, some of us might forget that we have them and we spend our life remembering, and some of us are born with them and we hold on to a lot of them, and we are psychic for all our lives. A lot of us, some others may remember some of the abilities and forgotten some of the other ones. So we go through this process of remembering these psychic abilities, these supernatural abilities that we call supernatural, but the souls, the spirit world, it's just normal, it's what is natural to them. So those are the four clairs. Okay, so some signs of clairsentient abilities, a little bonus at the end. So if any of these relate to you, then you may be a clairsentient. So number one, large crowds overwhelm you, whether that's festivals or music concerts or carnival for those of you in the UK or elsewhere. Large crowds really drain your emotions. Again, if you're not spiritually like shielded, a lot of it can drain you and just leave you feeling really emotional, because you're picking up on all these other people's energies around you. And if you're an empath, imagine that, or if you're the clairsentient beings, imagine all these energies, people's thoughts, actions, patterns, and it's all coming to you at once. So large crowds tend to overwhelm you, and you need a reasonable amount of time afterwards to recuperate and to recharge. So that's number one. Number two, your gut instincts are your real guides. Leads me back to what I was speaking about earlier, about your instincts, your intuition really heightening at this point, and you can just trust what it's telling you, what you're sensing. So these are your real guides, and you learn to make really good friends with them and trust what's being felt and what's being shown to you. Number Number 3, people call you too emotional or too sensitive. How often have you heard, oh, you're so emotional, why are you so sensitive? That, my dear, is actually your superpower, because you can feel deeply, you can feel other people's, you can feel your own, you can feel the world's at large's emotions. So trained properly, utilized properly, practice properly, this can actually help you in so many ways, where your emotions are your true guides also. So number 4, you're a great listener. How often do people come to you and just confide in you? That's people you may know, or total strangers, or the cat down the road, but people really confide in you and tell you their business. It's like this trust. They either know you very well or they don't know you, but they trust you with their business. So that is one of the signs that you are also clairsentient. Also, you get goosebumps and chills in your body, or the hairs on your body stand up, and you don't know why. It's like for no apparent reason, but that's your abilities, like showing you something. Or be mindful, be careful, or celebrate even. So that's the other one. Number 6, you love being in nature. Nature's your friend at this point. You now start relating more with nature, and it can also be a great benefactor to recharging you once you've been overwhelmed in large crowds, or you're just needing time to refocus. Your nature becomes one of your best guides, one of your best friends, and you revel being outside at one with nature. And the last one is, you walk into a room. I spoke about this earlier. You can walk into a room and feel the energy of that room. So those are some of the signs that you may be a clairsentient, or you may have one of the 4 Clair abilities. So that's it, guys. I hope you found this video very useful. Let me know if you are having some of these signs, if you recognize some of these signs, or you are a Clair, and tell me which one of the Clairs you are. I'd be really interested to know. Also, remember to like the video, subscribe to the growing team. We are. And until the next time, I shall see you later. Bye bye.